What's going on? Jared Scott, the Photoshop Bro. What I'm going to do is a Photoshop composite. So here's the background image that we'll be working with, and here's the model image. So to get started, first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a selection. So we'll go here to our quick selection tool. Also, you can press W, and we'll just make a quick selection here, and just make sure all of this is covered. Okay, now I want to make sure that all these little fine edges that we touch. So what we're going to do is up here you can go and adjust the size. Also, you can also use the bracket keys that are on your keyboard. So if you use the bracket keys right by the letter P, you can make it smaller or bigger. So actually I did it too much. So in any event that it does it too much, what you're going to do is hold Alt or Option on Mac. We'll just come back and go right here to our edge. And what you're trying to do is you just want to make this as close as possible as you can. Get this little area right here. Alright, and here. And again, just as close as possible. And then you want to check all of the edges, make sure everything is selected that's supposed to be. Like right here, it's just a little bit that's not. So let's get that real quick. There we go. And just like so. Check the rest of the edges. There's a little spot right here. What we can do is zoom in really close. If you press Z button, here's your zoom tool. You can zoom right on in here. Press W, goes back to the quick select. And let's just decrease the size of that brush and just get right in there. There we go. Alright, that'll be good. Alright. So, got our image here selected. Now what we want to do is we want to refine it, the edges. So you go up here to refine edge, and why this is really important is you'll see it mask it out. Now here you have the view mode. The view mode, basically you can change what you're seeing. So you overlay, see it on black, on white. This is basically the alpha matte. And this is good because sometimes little things that you wouldn't notice, like right here, to take that out. Or let's see it on layer, and back to the original. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to see it on black. Alright, and the area that we're going to focus on is the hair. So here's our zoom. So let's just zoom in here and look at the hair. There we go. Alright, so what we're going to do is make sure that the smart radius is turned on. So we've got that on. And take it to about 15. Now if you hit show radius, it will actually show you the area that the radius is affecting. Just use my hand tool to move around. So you can see the whole edge, what's the radius that it's affecting. Especially, like I said, this is really important when you think about the hair. So you can see here we may need to increase our radius just a little bit. So we come out some, and maybe a little bit more. make sure we have our smooth and feathering on, so it'll be nice, smooth edge to help with that. Alright, turn this off. Now another thing we want to do is the hairline. We want to better refine this, so we'll just click along here. You notice how it better refines the hair. So we'll just click along here. Back again. And just get this area in here, and that just better refines it a little bit more. And what I may do is just come down just slightly on the radius. Alright, we've got that there. Pretty fair shape. So just come along here. Alright, so let's see how we're looking. Okay, takes care of that pretty well. Okay, so we've got this done. Now what you want to do is choose layer mask as the output to. We'll hit OK. Alright, so press the zoom key, hold Alt, and we'll just zoom out. So here we have our full image. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring it over onto our background, sunset background. Before we do that, let's just prep our image just a little bit. Go up to image adjustment, and what we're going to adjust is your levels. That's also, to get to that, you could either press Command L or on Command L on Mac or Control L on PC. So basically the way the levels works, right here this slider is for your blacks. The white slider is for your whites, or highlights basically. And the gray is basically kind of a mix in between the two. So you can easily brighten the photo here if we want to kind of pull a little more on our blacks. So I'm just going to fine tune it just a little bit, brighten it just slightly. Okay. Now let's bring our image over. So what we'll do, we'll go up here, change our look so that we can see both. Click on this side and let's just drag this over, and we'll hit OK if that comes up. So here's our image. Let's click back to just consolidate on. There they are. Okay, so here's our image. Now, first of all, placing this. So I'm going to hit my move tool. I want this image on this side of the photo, except I don't want the image to, I don't want him facing this way. I want him facing the opposite direction. So what we'll do is we'll go image, edit, excuse me, and transform. Let's go flip horizontal. So flips the other direction. I want to make this a little bit bigger, so what I'm going to do is hit Command or Control T, and just a little bigger. So let's just increase the size of our image here. Let's say to about here. Right. And we'll hit OK. And just kind of zoom in here, so you see we've got a nice clean image here. Is cropped pretty well, so that's looking good there. So let's just zoom back out. One thing we are going to do, you'll notice that there is like a slight white line right here. So just to take that out, let's go under Layer, and of course make sure that you are clicked on the photo layer here. So it's layer 1, and we're going to go Layer, we're going Matting and Defringe. Okay, let's just set that to, let's say 2. Okay. It just helps just a little bit to kind of soften that edge there. Take that off. Alright, so we've got our image looking good, nice clean image. Alright, so next thing that I'm going to do is we want to kind of make these two images kind of blend well together. So to do that, we're going to create a new layer and adjustment layer. So new adjustment layer and photo filter. Choose that. This comes up. And here we have different types of photo filters. There are a few presets already built in. There are a few warming filters, some that are cool. And you see what this does. It basically puts a kind of an invisible color, I guess you could say, that kind of matches both images or anything that's below that photo filter layer. So in this case, what we're going to do, we're going for a, let's go for a warming, kind of a nice warm filter here. So let's go with this one. We'll choose the second one. And you can kind of see what that does before, after. Slight change, but it makes a big difference. You can tell in the clouds up here, in his shirt. You can see how that makes a difference. Okay, so let's leave that on. And, let's move that over to the side there. Okay, so we've got our image here. Now, the next thing to kind of help in selling this image is his glasses. So what can we do to slightly kind of fix this a little bit? This is what we're going to do. We're going to make a duplicate of the background. So right click on the background and duplicate layer and hit OK. Now this is important. We want the background layer to be on top of the layer of our model. So we'll move it above it. Okay. Now of course you don't see it because it's on top. Now what we will do is we're going to adjust the size of it. So Control or Command T. Control if you're on Windows, Command if you're on Mac. So Control T, Command T, and we're going to scale it down. Now, small tip but makes a big difference. Whenever you're scaling, of course you want to hold it from the corner, but also hold down the Shift key. Why is that important? Well, if you don't, it's very easy to skew this and to get it wrong. So, but if you hold Shift, Shift locks it in, so no matter how you move your mouse, it's nice and locked in. So we're just going to scale this down. We'll just bring it in here. We're going to put it right over his glasses. Okay, now let's just zoom in so we can work. All right, so now what I'm going to do so I can better see where his glasses are. Make sure the background layer is clicked. We're going to the opacity. Opacity has to do with how translucent the image is. So I'm going to go to about 35% and Command T again. I'm going to just scale this down just a little bit more. And about there. I just want those clouds to be in his glasses. So we'll bring it to about here. It covers his eyes there. Now, zoom in just a little bit more. Now we're going to use the eraser tool. So the eraser tool is here. You can also press the E key. And what we're going to do is, here's our eraser tool, here's our controls here for it, up in this top corner. Now this adjusts the size. Now just like with a brush, if you press the bracket keys, again that's right next to the letter P on the keyboard, the two bracket keys can increase or decrease the size of your eraser or brush. So get that to about, let's say start a little bigger. Let's say about here. And now the hardness, the brush is extremely hard. The edge is basically a nice hard crisp edge. Now soft edge is basically round and kind of fades like that. So hardness, we're not going to go 100%. Let's just go a little below 50%. Alright, so we're just going to erase this part of the cloud. So let's just erase this out. And the key is to get as close as possible to his glasses. So we'll just get right in here, trace that out. There are several ways you can do this effect, but we'll just do it this way. And let's just get nice and close there. Same way in here. And get right to the edge there. Now, we also want to make sure, there we go, just get as close as possible in there. Spill over a little bit, it's okay. Because in the end, you won't be able to tell. So we'll just get nice and close here. There we go. Okay. Now, we're also the center of the glasses. We want to take that out. So let's decrease our brush size, zoom in a little bit, and go back. E, letter E again goes to the eraser tool. And let's just take out in the center, right in here. Just take that out. There we go. So now it's pretty much just in the lens of the glass. Okay, so we've got that done. So Z for zoom, Alt or Option on Mac. You'll see it turn to negative. Let's just zoom out. So here we have it. Looks okay, but now we're going to make one other change. Let's do this. We're going to increase the opacity back up to 100%. Okay. And of course, you can look at that, and if you need to better tell how close you were on the edges, that will help. But now what we're going to do is right here with that layer checked. There it is. What we're going to do is we're going to change the blend mode. We're going to change the blend mode to overlay. Now, you see what that did. So basically it took what was there in the glasses and kind of blended it with the other. We'll change it to overlay. That works fine for that. Now, here we've got an image. It's looking okay. I think one thing I want to do to the image is I think I'm going to adjust it just slightly. Let's go Command L or Control L if you're on PC, and let's just kind of increase the blacks just slightly. There we go. Brighten it and just increase the blacks in the image a little bit. Highlights there. Okay. So we've got that going. Our photo filter going. Now, what are we going to do to finish off this image? Several things we can do. One effect that we're going to do is going to first of all flatten the image, because basically you have several layers here you're working with. You've got the photo filter, you've got our glasses, see how that makes a difference there. You kind of can see that nice orange they're going off the sun, so that's good. Got our talent here. So what we're going to do is flatten the image, so flatten image here. Right. That merges it all to one layer. Now, duplicate the layer. Duplicate that flattened layer, and we're going to go Filter and Other and High Pass. Okay. And once we choose this High Pass filter, you're going to see this gray. And basically, this will kind of help the detail to pop. So we're going to look at two examples of how I can do that. So let's start with a kind of low example. Let's say about, let's go to about, let's say about 12. Let's type it in here. It's about 12. Just a little bit there. Let's hit OK. Now, once this applies, we're going to change the blend mode of this layer to hard light. Now, see what this does? It kind of gives a more edgy feel to the image. So now, before, nice soft, after. Got a nice kind of hard and crisp edge. Now, if you wanted to take that a little further, just to see what this does, a little more extensively, duplicate the layer again, filter, high pass. Let's gain this way up. Let's say, yeah, let's see like 65.7. Okay. Same thing. Hard light. Bam. So now you kind of got this movie poster feel to it. It's kind of a surreal feel. It's a nice little glow here coming off. So this is what we've got here. So if you want to go kind of with that, or if you want a little bit of detail but not as much, we can go with that, and that'll give it a nice look. Another thing that I like to do is this is another program. We'll turn both of those off and go back to our background image. Tell you what, let me duplicate that. And it's a program by Nick Software called Color Effects Pro 3. A lot of nice presets in here. We'll go under Portrait and Glamour Glow. So one we'll choose. So Glamour Glow kind of gives it this nice softened kind of look. So this is what we'll you can see, nice soft look there. So we'll hit OK and let that work. And so now you can see we have a nice soft glow to it. And so now we basically got two looks off the same image. You have the nice soft glow, and then if you want the more detailed kind of a surreal look, here you've got it. So both of those go on there. So nice look, and even it's kind of neat too. We can even mix the two. Still have a nice kind of look going on there. Alright, that's it. So just a nice quick small tip to show how you can quickly composite 1-2 images and kind of give a nice selling effect, how to crop a person, or select a person rather, out of an image and be able to get a nice background behind them and make it look pretty realistic that that's the background where they were.